Hey, how you guys doing out there? James Humphrey with Associates Productions Movie Reviews. I got my co-host with me, Ali, and we are back for season 2 of Associates Productions Movie Review. Starting this movie review out with the Xmen movies, Xmen 1, 2, and 3. Let's talk about it. Xmen 1, 1999? 2000?
Yeah, 99,
Somewhere
99,
around that area.
2000. It was 2000.
2000?
Because Spider-Man 2 came out in 2002.
Yeah.
I believe. So, that way, to be honest, this X-Men movie, when you go back and watch it now, it doesn't hold up in 2023, but do not let that stop you from enjoying it.
It's still a good movie.
Yes, it is.
It's still a good movie.
It gets overlooked as far because it's brutally average now. Because there's so much superhero movies out there that this movie back in 2000 and 99, 2000, 2001, this movie was up there. Like you had X-Men 1, Spider-Man 1, like the movie, a simple movie. You have not Charles Xavier, but Magneto trying to change everybody into mutants. You had Senator Robert Kelly who were trying to ban mutants.
It was a decent plot, actually.
Yeah, he was trying to ban mutants, like get rid of mutants, the war against the mutants. Magneto was like, no, we're going to fight the mutants. And, which it don't make sense to this day how Wolverine got involved, though, because the only reason Wolverine got involved was because he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
In fact, Magneto was after Rogue because Rogue can steal people's powers. Like, he steal their energy, so he was like, okay, we'll have Rogue steal everybody's energy, but they want to reverse the machine they have for it, send everybody's energy into mutants. That was Magneto's plot in the movie, but he wasn't strong enough to use his powers to turn her into mutants. But Rogue has enough energy where she could use her powers because she's a young person to change everybody into mutants. And it's up to the X-Men to stop that. Now, that movie sounds like a cooler movie. The thing is, the plot doesn't jump off out like that. It takes a little bit for you to get to, that was the plot.
Well, here's the thing. Magneto's using Rogue to, his powers, blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, is Rogue like the only, mutant that has this power in the whole entire planet? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, he's looking for this particular mutant to transfer powers and stuff like that, right? Understandable. But I'm like, Rogue can't be the only, bitch out here that can do those powers or do some sort of transferring powers, you know what I mean, to power this machine, It's like, how did he hone in specifically on Rogue?
I don't know, because he doesn't have Cerebro, so he can't sit there in the machine but Magneto also controls the Brotherhood, which is not like a small group of mutants. Well, I guess in the movie they're not a small group.
There's like
mutants.
3 of them. There's like three in a group.
Right.
Which is fine, I will say this. Let's talk about actors.
Okay.
This is back in late 90s, early 2000s, where these actors wasn't actually really well known except for Patrick Stewart and Halle Berry.
True.
So you got James Marsden as Cyclops. And Hugh Jackman actually really wasn't a main actor, back in those days. He did play, a couple roles here and there, but they actually wanted Russell Crowe to play Wolverine.
Yes.
And Russell Crowe had, connections to Hugh Jackman. He was like, I'm not doing that, at least especially for like 9, movies. I got this other guy who's like hungry for acting and blah this and blah that. But I will say this, they had decent actors playing the decent roles.
Yes. Like Ian McKellen as Magneto, like at this point in time, you saw Sir Ian McKellen as Magneto. Then he became Gandalf, but before then he was Magneto. Famke Janssen, I always mess her last name up, or her name up, but she was Jean Grey.
Yep.
Anna Paquin as Rogue. You already mentioned James Marsden as Cyclops. Rebecca Romijn, probably messed her name up, as Mystique.
Yeah.
In this movie, you also had Darth Maul. He was in this movie as
Ray Park. Yeah.
Yeah, he was Toad in this movie.
And then I don't know who the unknown. Who's the dude that plays Sabretooth? I don't know, some unknown actor.
It's unknown. Yeah, like let me pull up IMDb. By the way, this movie did come out in 2000.
Okay.
And which Sabretooth didn't say jack squat to Wolverine in this movie.
Which is kind of odd because everybody knows the connection between, Sabretooth and Wolverine. And then I hate that they made Wolverine like the center character when they have all these other good mutants in the movie that are kind of like subplots, which makes sense because it is the first one. They brought them back for the sequels and later on blah this and blah that.
For a storyline perspective, though, to add to that, it was easy to do Wolverine because he got his memories, so he doesn't know anything. He's fighting in a cage, which is actually one of the coolest scenes where his claws come out in the cage. Cage fighting. No, he doesn't come out in a cage. Because when the dude walks up to him and he stabs at him, and his two claws come out, and then the third one slowly comes out to the dude's neck, and he does.
Good special effects for the 90s.
Yes.
Good special effects for the 90s.
But Wolverine, he didn't know anything. He doesn't know who the X-Men are. He doesn't know who Magneto is. He doesn't know who... He forgot who Sabretooth is because of Weapon X. So, he's a blank slate. So what you do, get Wolverine, make him the centerpiece as the one to this is how we introduce... He's your exposition dump character. He's the one where okay, this is Storm. Storm, Cyclops, what is your name? Wheels, he's the one you're dumping all the information on. So as an audience, he's the audience surrogate to know what the world is. So you're following Wolverine and also understand that this is Magneto, this is Sabretooth, but they don't really talk. They just fight each other.
I want to say they probably did that because Wolverine's the more popular mutant compared to all the other ones. It's
yes.
Once we go farther in more episodes of the X-Men, I mean, I don't think any other X-Men got their own solo films.
Tyler Mane played Sabretooth, and then Ray Park played.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that guy, Tyler Mane. But moving on, X-Men 1. Decent movie for a decent time when it came out.
I gave it a C, a solid C, a 75%. I think that movie's...
I give it a good 80, 85, somewhere around there. I thought I liked the movie. Out of all the rest of them, you gotta say it's pretty good.
IMDb gives it a 7.3 out of 10. And then Rotten Tomatoes give it an 82%. Yeah. That's from the critics. The audience, that's what the audience score give it. They give the movie... 83%. So yeah, you're right there with Rotten Tomatoes. I'm more aligned with IMDb. But yeah, no, it's a solid movie. I think you will go back. If you go back and watch X-Men 1, you will not be disappointed in this film. Now you gotta realize the CGI is not the greatest. It's not late 90s, early 2000s CGI. So when Wolverine is getting tossed and he uses claws to cut the Statue of Liberty to get on top of it, you're like, that doesn't. How did he?
That ain't working. That shit ain't working.
That? But the ending scene, I rewatched Wolverine versus Sabretooth fight because I thought it was a cool fight. They fight on top of the Statue of Liberty, which, what other movies have you seen the characters in on Statue of Liberty? Not that many. Now, they did do the beam in the sky thing, which is one of the first movies to do that, superhero movies wise. But as far as cultural impact, X-Men started you can say X-Men legit started the MCU to have superhero movies taken more seriously and not as a joke. Also, the beginning of the movie is messed up. You have freaking Magneto trying to save his mom in a concentration camp, and he's using his mutant abilities to open this gate, and that's how they figure out he's a mutant. It's a darker movie. The movie is about, and you really think about it, it's about change and trying to fight back. Because there's a theme to these movies. It's about trying to get the X-Men trying to get people to understand that mutants are not bad people. We're good people. Accept us who we are. Magneto who want to accept us, but then taking a step too far, saying no, mutants are the superior race. We're taking over. And then the human side with Senator Robert Kelly saying mutants should be getting rid of their menace to society. And it's all those ideologies bouncing off each other in this movie. And then you get to second and third where those ideologies are touched on. The second one is definitely plays off the first one. The third one is a mess.
Well, let's go ahead and get on the second one.
Okay.
X2.
United
We Stand or something like
X-Men,
that.
Or X2. I think it's X2 United. Let me see.
Yeah, some shit like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Most definitely, my favorite one out of the X-Men is obviously the sequels. Well, I wouldn't say the sequels. I say this particular sequel. I'd say this probably be my more favorite one out of the Wolverine ones.
Okay.
Where they most definitely stepped up the action. They actually had Wolverine cutting some motherfuckers and letting motherfuckers know.
Yeah.
Good shit. Powers. You saw Powers in the first one, but you didn't really see Powers more as in the second or third one or further on as much as the first one. So the second one really brought out like all these mutants are really, you know, doing some shit. Like when they had Pyro blowing up the cars and shit, the cop cars and fucking them people up and all that stuff. I mean, it was good raw action, good story. Most definitely a favorite ones out of all the other ones.
All the other ones. It's called X2 Xmen United.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, the action in that movie is really good. I personally, it's my least favorite of the three.
Really?
Of the three originals. Yes. Not because it was not a bad movie. It's because to me it was the driest of the movies. I just, for some reason, I went back and rewatched it. It's a movie to me that just doesn't encapsulate me like the other ones. The opening, I think what it is one of the movies where you have such a banger of an opener that nothing else in that movie compared to that opening scene. When Nightcrawler is going through the White House, and that's what makes me so mad about this, because not even Nightcrawler himself, he's getting controlled by freaking
not even mind control. It's some like little liquid. Bullshit, whatever.
What's his name? Stryker. Stryker's controlling Nightcrawler. Now where Stryker go is to kill all mutants. He wants to end mutants, and then once again the X-Men trying to show that mutants are not bad people. So Stryker is trying to kill mutants. So Magneto and the X-Men have to team up. The Brotherhood and the X-Men team up. But what happens in this movie is you have this great opening scene. The White House. Everybody's in the White House, and all of a sudden this guy's like sneaking into the White House. And his tail shows up, but he's wearing color.
I guess he sweated through his makeup, right?
Yeah. So he had makeup on, like he can't. So he looks like a normal person, but his tail,
comes out,
and also he just.
I guess as he's fucking people up.
Oh my! And I mean, if you have not seen this scene, it's probably one of the best superhero movie scenes there is. Go, and it has like I think not Mozart, maybe Bach. One of them is playing in the background. Is there like one of the songs? Oh, what's the song?
We'll figure it out.
I want to say it's Mozart. Requiem. Maybe not. Maybe. Oh no, it is Mozart. Mozart dies Ire Requiem. I'm not sure I pronounced that right.
I don't know.
But phenomenal song, phenomenal scene. Just Nightcrawler going through, teleporting, kicking people's butt left and right, running through the hallways, poofing here, poofing there, slowing it down because he's moving so fast. The movie had to slow it down so you can see what's going on. It's like flipping dudes, and then he's about to kill the president, and then he gets shot and he like teleports out. But like it was showing how powerful Nightcrawler could be. And then they don't use him for the rest of the movie. He does this amazing scene and then just completely disappears.
He turned Christian, remember, or Catholic. He turned Catholic. Yeah.
He was religious, so that wasn't him. And Storm finds that out real quick. She's like, "This is not the same. It was him, but it's not the same mindset of the guy that you saw earlier who's being controlled. Because he's actually a pacifist. He doesn't want to fight." Okay, but why open the movie up with this phenomenal scene? There's no other scene that movie touches that. Like, if you think about that movie, you have
Wolverine, cutting through the house.
Yeah,
pretty phenomenal scene showing Wolverine doesn't care about these, killing people.
Because they're attacking the students. So yeah, right. He is going through just slicing the people down left, right. You have Colossus stands up, goes. The first.
I do hate that part where because they build Colossus up to this, but then they don't use him for the rest of the film.
They don't. They really don't. But he has an introduction. Oh my God, Colossus in the scene. You're a fan of Colossus. You're like, that's a cool scene. And then you have Wolverine versus Lady Deathstrike. I think that's who that was.
Yeah. And of course, they don't know each other.
Yeah. Right. But like. That's about it. Those scenes that you think of, everything else.
Well, I didn't really like that scene. Like the ending scene, but it did not have a good climax. If I'm being honest,
it didn't.
It did not have a good climax.
That's why I think I gave the movie another C as well, because it felt like the first one. It had a good beginning, but an ending was just kind of like,
Yeah. Here's this. This is the big thing that I didn't like was Wolverine's daddy issues with Stryker. It's like, really, man? Are we doing the hand on the glass type shit? Like, get the fuck out of here with that, man. He's doing daddy. You know what I mean?
Right.
like nobody gives a shit. I mean, I understand you care, but I mean, you're not getting me wanting to care about.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
About the whole Weapon X program and It would be better off just instead of doing the whole flashback scenes, just do one solid flashback, just showing what the fuck happened. You know.
I think the reason why that got put in because people love Wolverine so much.
You know, that popularity bullshit again.
I think he really got popular. Now, he was always a popular Marvel character, but I think the movie like really accelerated his popularity where you're like, oh, okay. And then like you look at Hugh Jackman, like the dude's like, he's like a cool dude. He look like a cool guy. Like he doesn't like somebody who like he kind of weird, like a strong, cool dude. I'm gonna be like Hugh Jackman, and he's Wolverine. Heck yeah, let's go. So like you get Wolverine
going with the fans and what they like.
Yeah, so so therefore you put that Wolverine story in there. In reality, the Weapon X storyline didn't really need to be introduced in the movie, but with Stryker trying to come back and get rid of all mutants, it kind of like. I guess it helped Wolverine know who he is, but then like there's Stryker's son who's a mutant and Charles Xavier who knew of him, but then like that whole scene where it's like, oh, you're gonna kill everybody, but then Magneto have him flip it where he's gonna kill all humans. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, during that time in the movies you had, it was considered one of the best superhero movies out there. Like IMDb gives the movie a 7.4 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes give it 85% for this one.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And
I mean, it was a good movie. It was a good movie.
And the critics give it 85%. So the critics, this is one of the first times I've seen where the critics and audience has been on the same page for a movie. X2 is an 85% on both critics and audience. And usually, sometimes the audience is more, they like a movie more than the critics do. That's impressive.
Okay, let's go on to 3.
X3.
Okay, first and foremost, before we start trashing, it always starts with the director. So Bryan Singer directed X-Men 1 and 2. They switched up to directors. I forgot who the fuck directed 3. And it doesn't matter. But they switched up directors, you know, when you switch up a director, it changes the movie.
Brett Ratner.
That fucking guy. Which he has good movies. To a point. To a point. You know. To a point. So it changed directors, whatever, you know. And obviously when you change directors, you change styles, you change directions, you change all that sorts of shit.
A good example, the last Star Wars movies, 7, 8, and 9, which this one, they did the last movie, which is probably the safest way that you're going to change the director, the safe way to do it. 7, 8, and 9, they changed the middle movie had the director change. We're not going to talk about it on this episode, but just when you go watch those movies, just keep that in mind that the middle movie, number 8, is a different director than 7 and 9. But yes.
I was thinking like The Matrix. The Matrix kept it real, had all 3 movies directed by the same director. Even the 4th one was directed by the same directors.
Yes.
You know, when you switch things up, Christopher Nolan, when he did the Batman movies, did all 3 same, you know, solid, you know, movies. I think what sucked with X3 is that you had so many characters with so many plots.
Yep.
And you had so much shit going on in between the movies. Still, at the same time, trying to make Wolverine the main character,
which doesn't make sense
in all 3 movies. You know what I mean?
Wolverine doesn't really need to be in X3 at all. Like he's there for a reason. Like he's there because he's like one of the few teachers.
Got this whole love fucking shit going on.
Hold on, let's talk about.
I like Cyclops. You know, they showed him less in X2, and then killed him off in the first 5 minutes of the fucking movie.
You don't get the honor of seeing him die. You just see him kiss Jean Grey and then disappears. And then he never shows up.
It's like he signed a contract for 10 minutes and said, okay, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Because for some reason, I don't know why, Wolverine has this big attraction on Jean Grey. It's been since the first movie.
It goes to a comic book. I'll explain that later. But
okay. But like the movies don't explain why. Like he just pretty much thinks she's hot. Yeah. Like he sees, oh, this lady touching me. The first thing he wakes up when he's in Charles Xavier's mansion, he sees this redhead touching on him. He's like, I like this. And this is then he has this crush, and then you have Cyclops, who's like the jealous boyfriend, who's kind of like a prick in the movie to Wolverine.
Now, I mean, he's homing in on territory that's not his.
I get that.
You know, respect.
Instead of being like, hey man, you know,
Like, chill fuck out, dog.
Yeah, like sitting there having a conversation with him, like, hey, nice to meet you. My name is Wolverine. My name is Cyclops. No, nice to meet you. Whatnot. Versus like, you got a problem, bro?
Yeah.
You looking at like Cyclops come off as a douche. So Wolverine's like,
I think they started out like Cyclops was trying to respect him until he was like, hey, bro, you need to chill the fuck out. You know what I mean?
Right. Now I do get that because it wasn't like a consensus, like they both agree. It more was like they both kind of ate each other's neck right off the bat, which comic books I get they don't like it.
Yeah.
They're
Whatever.
Like not a love-hate relationship, but it's like they respect each other but they don't like each other kind of situation.
And then they got the little love triangle with Bobby and Rogue and Kitty and all this other shit. You
do Rogue so wrong. Anna Paquin did not deserve this.
I mean, it's not like he cheated. He was skating. They were just skating.
That man kissed her though. He saw it. She saw it. That's what she. But Rogue wanted to be. She wanted to be human. Because so the X-Men 3, the plot was.
That is true. They had the whole fucking cure bullshit.
The cure was in it, so they would start curing. You as a mutant, you get an option to go get yourself cured or not stay a mutant. Which then Magneto was like, they're not going to just let us walk by and take an option. They're going to actually force it upon us. Look, my brothers, they already did some Mystique, so we're going to go out and take it. So Magneto's trying to get a swarm of people to go take out the cure, which once again, that's on brand with the storyline of the first two movies. That like some humans want the mutants to be gone. Mutants want to be accepted. That first, second, third. The second movie was at the end of the second movie. There was a scene where the X-Men show up at the White House saying mutants are here. We're not gonna be a threat. We're gonna save everybody. Leave us alone.
This whole fucking movie has so many different plot.
But the third one,
it's so confusing because I forgot all about the fucking Phoenix.
Oh yeah, I'm about to get to that. Because the third one, you have the mutant plot where the mutant's like, oh, the cure, not the cure kind of thing. Which is somebody put in my comment section on one of my videos saying like, this is so relevant to today with COVID. And you're like, you just had to try to make a point out of this, did you? But anyway, the cure, not the cure, and then you have the Phoenix Force, which gets introduced at the end of the second movie and then finally takes form in this movie, which they want to do the Phoenix Force so bad. So you get the Phoenix Force, you got the cure, and you got the non-cure, and then you got the Juggernaut, then you got Angel, and then you got Charles Xavier dying.
Mutants
with
different plot points, and all these different, powers and shit, but they don't really get utilized. Like you had Multiple Man, whole hyped up about him, but then he's in the movie for like 5 minutes.
What did he do in the climax?
He multiplied the camp, remember? When they were coming in to get Magneto at the camp or whatever, he multiplied to make it look like they were all at the camp, and then he and then got captured and got arrested again.
Okay, that's what it was.
That was it. Angel, first 5 minutes of the film, and then the last 5 minutes of the film.
Yeah, which Angel's open is a very gruesome scene. Like he is cutting his wings off. Like this kid is cutting. Like that is think about the pain that has because his wings are not. They're not like. They're bones.
I'm trying to think who was the actor. I think it was Ben Foster that played Archangel, whatever, Angel in the film. Which he lived on to have a pretty prominent career. I guess good starting out, being in there, I guess for the 5 minutes that he was in, his little 5 minutes of fame got him whatever he was at. But, whatever. Juggernaut, Vince
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben Foster was.
Yeah. Vince.
Oh, Vinny. He's in.
Does a lot of British films.
Yeah.
Foreign films. That kind of. I wouldn't call them films, but British, that kind of stuff.
Vinny Jones.
Yeah, Vinny Jones. He felt like.
He's in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
I felt like he was in the movie for like 5 minutes, and then of course. They did the little thing with him and Charles, like they don't know, like they know each other, but they don't know each other type bullshit. It's like, where's the story? This is where flashbacks are needed. You know what I mean? They did the whole flashback with Rogue, or not Rogue, with Jean and her whole Phoenix main whatever bullshit, but they don't want to do flashbacks of all these other characters. I'm like, if you're going to explore these other characters, then explore the other characters. Don't like...
But then the Jean Grey storyline, like it plays out, but it's like almost unnecessary to the main storyline of the movie and the theme of the movie about like being accepted and being who you are and not changing who you are and try to get others, not trying to get others to accept you, but live in a world where people might not accept who you are, but just be who you are. That whole thing that was in the first, second movie, then the third movie had it there and then just stopped it because Rogue Rogue's storyline is a bigger piece to the X-Men, to these first 3 films than all the other ones. Like, if you look at it, it starts with Rogue in X-Men 1. She is one of the main pieces of that movie. X-Men 2, she's trying to establish a relationship with Bobby. I don't even think Elliot Page was in the movie yet. If she was, I mean,
I felt like she did a cameo, but it wasn't Elliot Page. I think it was like another character. No, that was the first one. They were just showing the mutants.
Yeah, no, the first one wasn't Elliot. The second one, I think, was Elliot Page.
No, in the second one it wasn't Elliot Page. It was another random one that got caught because she phased through.
Oh yeah, she screams and then she phased through.
Yeah, phased through.
So
thing.
Elliot, he comes in the. I'm doing this in respect to the person.
It's okay.
He comes in the third one, and he is Shadowcat. And Bobby and Elliot have, or I guess Shadowcat, so Shadowcat the character, she's the character. They have a relationship, but it's kind of like Bobby was in a relationship with Rogue, but he could never touch her because if he touches her, she will steal his life force. Because I guess she don't know how to cut it. I don't think she can cut it off. I think one touch for Rogue, the character, one touch is done.
Yeah,
like
one touch is done. Yeah.
There's no. Why don't you like wear the? This is horrible, and this is a horrible movie reference. Is it Batman Beyond or Batman Begins? Why don't they have the lips? That Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin. Yeah. You talking about like have some fake skin or something like that? You would think.
Why have they not made this for Rogue yet? Like, these are X-Men who wear suits and everything. If she wants to kiss a boy, just have Bobby put the fake lips on.
That actually kind of would make sense, though, because you think Charles Xavier's know all these meta, people that deal with all that bullshit, whatever. It's like, hey, let's try to figure out how we can control it or turn it on and off or some shit like that, and whatever. Speaking of Charles, this motherfucker decides to explode. What the fuck happened to him?
No, Jean blew him up.
Explode, whatever, but then transferred his mind into another body that looks just like whatever the fuck,
So he made a mention of it in the beginning, like in like the one of the exposition scenes. He's talking about like a mutant can transfer the mind to another mutant body, something like that. Some shit. We don't know how it happened, but then it does it. And for some reason, that happens in that scene. Just kind of gets wiped away because the next time you see him, he's back in his body, and you're like,
looking exactly the same as the body that he just blew up or whatever the hell, which makes no sense at all.
He's not Apocalypse. He can't transfer his body to somebody else, but like he did it in this movie. Now I guess if you think about it, if they were, and now this is me giving them super credit, a lot of credit, way more credit than they probably should, because I doubt they were thinking this far ahead, but. If you play off that scene where they say a mutant can transfer the body into somebody else's, transfer the consciousness to somebody else's body, then it can make you believe that they knew Apocalypse existed. Because I know this is a stretch. This is a stretch. But if you think about it, because Apocalypse has been doing that for years, right? So if there's like stories of that happening, maybe that was an Apocalypse reference.
It could be.
Now that's some deep.
Listen to me though. That
digging.
Makes me think about the Sentinel. So they played the little cameo at the beginning of the movie, 5 seconds, whatever, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, about the Sentinels. But you find out later on in the later movies that the Sentinels were there before that time. You know what I mean?
You're right.
So it's like, did they wipe everybody's mind about the knowledge of these fucking machines? And why the hell are these machines not being used now?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because this is back in the 70s when the Sentinels came around.
Those movies are an alternate universe.
Oh, alternate universe now.
Yeah,
Get the fuck out of here, man.
I'm pretty sure can they go back in time, but like they because the timeline don't make sense. No, remember Wolverine wakes up at the end of that movie. He wakes up in the future, but it's not the same timeline that
But Charles Xavier's like, oh, welcome back, because it's like he knew what the fuck was going on, what the hell, whatever he was doing with his mind tricking to begin with. Fuck that third movie, man. It fucking sucked, man. It was bad. The movie sucked. It's most definitely the worst out of the 3, man.
Yeah.
Because they got they had at the end of the movie they had 4 or 5 X-Men going up against an army
of the Brotherhood,
and they had all good powers, whatever. But even with the other army of other superpowered motherfuckers, you know.
Right, and we didn't talk about the mutant. I think the mutant it's Leech, the mutant who can steal their powers away from him. Who was that mutant? Because there's a mutant who they make the cure was based off of mutant who can.
Oh yeah.
Who can retract people's powers?
Another fucking storyline in the goddamn movie.
Because Beast is in this movie, which Beast I love the way. I think it's what's his name. It begins with a K. But I love the way how Beast looks in this movie. Beast looks legit to me in this movie. Kelsey Grammer, who plays Beast, looked phenomenal in this movie, and he really gets that scene. He's a senator, and then at the end of the movie, he has a fighting scene. That's it. Rogue does get the cure,
and that was it for her in the movie.
Yep, that was her. Like she was literally out of the movie. Like she was gone. Bobby and Shadowcat gets more of the storyline in this movie. They fight with each other. Colossus is in here. He fights.
He actually fights people.
Storm is still around.
It takes Wolverine to kill Jean because apparently nobody else can get close to her, even though she is literally ripping off pieces of this motherfucker's body.
But he regenerates faster than she can.
Why did she just explode him like Professor Xavier, like she did with Professor Xavier?
I don't know, because he loved her. Like, why do you love her? Like you have a big crush on her. There's nothing about what you guys. There was no relationship. There was no like.
Okay, yeah, that's right. They explored that in
X2.
No. In further later in the X-Men because apparently they were there. The X-Men were there when Wolverine escaped. Remember? We have to talk about it in the later movies.
Oh, you talking about?
Yeah, and then Jean did that little mind trick, whatever.
Yeah. Before
he ran out in the cold or some shit, like whatever, you know.
Right.
I don't know if you remember that. You gotta watch it again.
No, I do know because it's one of those scenes in X-Men Apocalypse that makes no sense. Because it's almost like it was completely a side point for no reason, just to get Wolverine in the movie.
Yeah.
It really was, because that scene, cause what happened is the Charles Xavier house just blew up.
For like that.
Quicksilver gets everybody out, but Havoc doesn't make it out. And then Stryker shows up, takes the mutants back,
Yep, that's right.
Jennifer Garner, what's her name?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence was Mystique, takes her, Beast, was it Nightcrawler? No, Nightcrawler wasn't taken. He was not in there. It was her, Beast, somebody else gets taken. They get taken to Weapon X, then Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Jubilee doesn't go. Jubilee stays with them, but Jean Grey.
Another movie they had a bunch of X-Men with different plots and other shit, but they don't really explain that stuff.
They get onto the plane, go to Weapon X. They free Wolverine as a chance to get everybody else out. Wolverine goes on another killing spree, and then she gives him Jean Grey stops Wolverine, gives him part of his mind, and then
he
runs out. Yeah,
into the wilderness, whatever. Yeah,
and then don't compare that to X-Men Wolverine Origins, because then that's a whole nother movie. But yeah,
we did good.
Yes.
Looking at in further episodes, I think episode 2 is we're doing X-Men. What's it? Origins through Dark Phoenix.
So
X-Men First Class.
Yeah. So we'll be talking about
Dark Phoenix.
So we'll be talking about First Class, Days of Future Past. We'll be talking about Apocalypse.
Yep.
And then Dark Phoenix. The four of those movies, which to me, First Class, Days of Future Past, X-Men 1 and 2 are some of the top X-Men films, the top superhero films that you can watch.